Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, 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 lovely people.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. I
Very
actually
good.
didn't have to work tonight, so I'm up and alert.
Oh, we
Hey.
like that. We like that. Definitely like that. So tell me, what's going on? How y'all been over this lovely April Fool's weekend? Yeah, it would be a weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's it was a real April Fool's because I was at work the other night. I'm looking outside like that looked like snow. That can't be snow. That's raining. I walked outside and I was like, it's snowing. No. How we go from 1 week and having 70-degree weather, then back to the snow a couple days later?
Right.
Who does pneumonia weather? Folks was wearing shorts last weekend. Now they bundle back up in their winter clothes. No, that's crazy.
It definitely will have you sick.
Yes, it sure was an April Fool's joke on everybody.
The biggest April Fool's joke. Okay, wait, before I disclose that, let's talk about Michael Strahan's Gap. Everybody knows I was devastated. Everybody knows that Michael Strahan is known for his Gap. Like, I don't even know who he is if he's not, if the Gap's not there. So tell me, how you feel about him getting rid of the Gap, closing it up?
Either, I mean, it don't bother me either way. If that's what he wants to do, then more power to him. I think he looks handsome either way.
And you know what? It's a lot of people that we know that have had Gaps like forever, and that's how you know them by. And some people just don't like their Gap, and they decide, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. As adults, they close it up.
Right.
And we like, oh, you look great. Well, guess what? Roogle. Would you know Michael Strahan without the Gap?
I think not knowing that it happened, but I think if I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he got his. What do you get, veneers or something? I just looked at the picture. It looked like he was getting his whole rack fixed.
Don't he look different?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he looked the same to me. He just looked like he finally used that NFL money to get his face fixed. That's all.
You about to say his feet. Now, who got bad feet over there that you sitting there?
No, because they showing pictures and it looked like there was some other issues with the teeth going on.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, there was one picture I see is like there was some other stuff going on. But, maybe he just got to that age where maybe a tooth fell out. He's like, I got to fix all this.
I liked him with the Gap. I knew who he was immediately. Like down the hall, you can be like, oh, that's Michael Strahan. Now I'm gonna be like, who is that? That's just a tall black guy.
But he had the lisp and everything like that with the thing. So it's.
But how are we gonna see it? Everybody wearing masks. How are we gonna see the lisp?
Well, he ain't he a broadcaster or something of that nature? No.
Well, guess what, lovely people? Are you ready for this? Yes. It was an April Fool's joke.
Really, Michael Strahan? Like you did everybody like that?
It was
upset.
Right. It was an listen, I was an April Fool that day because I was devastated about this here Gap. Look, the nerve of me telling somebody else how they need to leave things alone. But I
saw a lot of people upset the other day. Like, I know he did close his goddamn. I mean, like really genuinely upset, like they knew him. But okay, he got everybody. He really did. That was a good one.
Oh well.
I
bet he's thinking about it now.
You know what? I was thinking that. I said, he might say, let me test the waters. And see how the public will receive me with, like you said, veneers, because that's what it looked like.
Yeah, from what I saw, that was, but I mean, who?
No, go.
Why do people care? like, let him fix his mouth if he want to fix his mouth. Obviously, it's a dream of his.
Right. I had a friend who did that years ago. She got veneers and she didn't close it completely, but she had a very big gap and was known for her gap. But she finally got veneers. She still has a smaller gap. But you know, she was like, I didn't want to close my gap all the way because I'm known for my gap. She was like, I love my gap, but she said she wanted it done because her gap was really wide.
So why? I'm trying to understand how she got her gap done. She wanted to close a little bit. And see, I know a whole lot of people who in my family, you know, because we're known for gaps. They closed their gaps, but they waited till they were, well, adults, probably because, you know, we wasn't doing all the extra stuff. We wasn't allowed to like get our hair colored at a young age, you know, so it's a totally different thing now. And now they got their gap closed or braces and they're like, this is what they wanted. And I just thought that it was really interesting how
waited till she got in her 40s.
Yeah, you know, things that you thought didn't bother people clearly did because they got it fixed. Just like, you know, with, you know, the breast implants, you know, people like, oh, okay, well, I guess they had some type of inferiority complex where they want to go ahead and get boobs or whatever.
I had plenty to give away to everybody. I was trying to get rid of mine. You want some? Here, I'm having surgery. Take some. Yeah, because that was a back killer. So those that want them, y'all go ahead, have that fun, because it's eventually going to destroy your back and your shoulders. Trust me. That's one of the reasons why I had to get rid of it.
So you having a lot, you wanted less.
Girl, I told my doctor, he was like, well, how small do you want to be? I said, how about a training bra or a wife beater?
Why?
I'm over it. I've had, listen, I was the largest child in 6th grade.
Okay, you talking about development?
Yes, development. Yes, breast-wise. Everybody was still wearing, like I said, t-shirts and stuff like that. I was the only one wearing full-fledged bras in 6th grade because
not to cross your hearts. Not to cross your hearts.
Yeah, girl, listen, to cross your hearts.
Wait, Nick, you have missiles?
12.
You was 12 with missiles. You know, you remember the cross your hearts, the big X, and then you stick
Listen, my cousin used to be like, you probably wear them over the shoulder boulder holders, stuff like that. Yeah, I was over all that. Yeah.
Okay, so
and then after a while, it wreaks havoc on your back, your lower back and your shoulders, really bad. So I was like, I'm over it. Cut them completely off. I don't care if I'm walking around here looking like a dude. Take them off.
Well, see, and it's not my issue, but I know somebody who did have a breast reduction, and I'm not carrying it, so I don't know how it is. And you got to have the right bra. Now, when I was pregnant, I was a triple E. I was. Now I'm a triple D, but you got to have the right bra.
A triple D?
A triple, I'm a triple D.
You can't even tell, really.
You guys listen.
You can tell when you go double D. Listen, I was in denial. I wouldn't go past the double D, but I know I was bigger than that, and I was in denial. I stayed in the double D. 48.
Okay, but let's school the people real fast, and then I'll get to my point. You have to get measured. Measurements is everything. The letter is the cup size. The number is the back size. A lot of people will go and get a larger cup size trying to compensate for the back size. But you want your stuff to sit up, okay? But you're gonna spend, and you have people that don't feel like they don't need to spend. You're gonna spend close to $150, about $150, $200 for a good bra. Right. Now you have to invest in self. That's why a lot of people can't tell why I'm telling all my personal business, but it's okay because we grown up in this mug. Here's my thing. She got a breast reduction because, you know, her back, like I said, I wasn't having those issues. But here's the thing. When she got the breast reduction, now her stomach stick out. I think your boobs need to stick out further than your stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
Roogle.
Help.
There's no part of this conversation I can take part in.
He said he steered clear of that one.
Stand clear of it.
It looked like a female with a beer belly. Like, I'm thinking.
I know that's my issue. I'm mad at that, but it just over quarantine. That's when I really started. So I got to get this quarantine weight off me once. But when I first had it done, I had no problem because I hadn't gained all that weight. But now, yeah, I'm looking like, oh, sis, this is when I do need them. But I my back don't hurt like it did. I'm cool. I know how to wear waist trainers if I need to.
Yeah. Let me say this for those who in the listening audience that who have that issue of being top heavy. Get yourself a good bra. Invest. Hand wash it. Hang that thing out. If you gotta keep on wearing it, so you're like, oh, I can't go to Victoria's Secret. No, you gotta go to the drawer. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta just go on out of the store. But get yourself, invest in a good bra. That is important. And adjust those straps accordingly. Because like I say, I mean, you don't want your boobs looking like balls by the time you're 30. They just hanging. That is not the move, okay?
Right.
So, spend the money. You have to invest. Spend the money. You know, even though you're like, oh, this is undergarments. I'd rather have you up there buying all the labels on the outside. But we need them to be, the puppies to be sitting up. And you see like a lot of the younger girls, not all of y'all, because some of y'all know what's going on. Why your boobs like hanging and sagging? Sis, you 20.
In their early 20s with their nipples touching their belly button. Girl, that ain't cute. And then you got to learn to run around here trying to wear sexy clothes in the club with your titties hanging. Oops, excuse me. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Come on now. That's not cute, ladies. That is not cute. Get some what they call boob tape, titty tape, something. Sit them up. But don't be running around here with this little outfit with your back, you get, and they hanging all the way down to. No, they got to sit up. Make sure you get something to help them sit up if you're going to wear stuff like that. That's not cute. Looking like 2 sacks of flour.
Oh, 2 sacks, not 2 sacks. Roogle said, I don't want no parts. Y'all ain't coming back to get me, haunt me, nothing, none of the sort.
No parts of that.
Right. He said that he's going to keep quiet on this one.
Like my boy Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You know,
so you just folded this one up.
And I'm not, and it's not a boob pun, but I guess it is. You gotta know when to hold them, and if you can fold them, goddamn.
Yeah, because some people
know when to fold them. Throw them over your back, over your shoulder like double.
Yeah.
Throw them up over their shoulder.
Yo, all right, that's a hot mess. All right, let's move on to Justin Timberlake. He is still awaiting the forgiveness of Janet Jackson. Allegedly. Y'all heard me. Air quotes for the listening audience.
He should, because they should have banned him from performing as well as her. They just put everything on her. She didn't know he was going to do that. Or maybe they did know. Who knows?
Well, accident still. Go ahead, Roogle, weigh in.
You know, I said this before, like, he could have easily been like, hey, I'm not going to do that. Even if it was scripted, I'm not going to do that. Right? You know, I'm just not going to do it.
Family show.
Had he did that shit in 2020, or when the last time, you know, he'd been ultra canceled. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of feel like, you know, he had the opportunity to be able to salvage that whole thing. When he did the Super Bowl, he can be like, well, let me bring her back. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. You know, and
I wonder, did I say she was banned? So I guess he couldn't have.
No, he could have spoke up and said something and just been like, listen, I'm going to take part. Now, I own part of that. That was my fault. Mm-hmm. You guys need to lift the ban. Let me bring her back. Let us rectify this situation.
Yeah.
That's all it takes sometimes, even if they said no.
Okay, go ahead, Roogle.
Try.
He didn't seem, I mean, but at the time I thought about it, I was like, well, you know, Janet Jackson was really, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was doing a lot of stuff and things at the time, but she was really the main, like, you know, before it was like, oh, we only letting like iconic artists do the Super Bowl, you know, and it was like his like leeway in there was to be a part of, it was like Janet Jackson's Super Bowl show featuring him, you know what I mean? And when he had the opportunity, he didn't bring nobody on with him. You know what I'm saying? Like he just seemed like a huge opportunist. Like as soon as that situation happened, he walked away from it. Life, it never impacted him in a negative way, you know, and he just went on doing his thing, you know. But at that point in time, I was pretty much like, yeah, I'm done with this. I don't care what song he make, what collaboration he do, suit and tie, tuxedo, whatever the hell that song is. I was like, cats forget that, you know, the actions that happen about something else. They don't only care about their own pocket and not the impact that he had in that whole situation. You know, because I mean, and he talking about, he said, now what was the statement he said? He's waiting on her to let him apologize.
It said, alleged, that no, not her to apologize, her to forgive him. So it sounds like he wants her to forgive him publicly. And it makes me wonder, is it your conscience, that's your guilty conscience that's feeling like, I did apologize, she didn't say anything. Look how many years it's been.
But then that makes it almost seem like if he's saying that she won't let me apologize for it, then it sounds like he did it just on his own. Like he just said, let me just go rip her bra off. If you know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't, like,
one would think.
I mean, what are you apologizing for?
Right. If it was scripted or if it was something she told him to do, then why are you apologizing? So yeah,
in other words, you know what I think? I think the apology honestly is more so because what Roogle was saying. You had the opportunity to clean this up and you need to clean your heart. This is what I think. You need to like clear your heart. You're trying to make peace with everything because you know you could have done something about it, but you didn't. So guilty conscience. That's the way I feel. Yeah. Just my thoughts.
Or
I shouldn't you care about if somebody forgive you. I could forgive somebody, but I ain't got to go to them and say I forgive you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It doesn't make, like, really, doesn't that make you think like, well, just weigh in. If I've wronged somebody and I apologize, but now I feel like you're trying to control her because she didn't forgive you the way you think she should have. Like, for the sake of conversation, indulge. Humor me,
like, that's more of a, like, you trying to force somebody to forgive you. Like you trying to force it. She's probably forgiven him a long time ago, forgot about him, moved on about her business.
Because I forgot about it.
Well, I'm sure she didn't forget about
it. And look, I'm not forget about it because it ain't happened to me.
Yeah, ain't nobody forget that. Y'all are really on a titty topic today. like hopping from breast to breast today. But I just kind of feel like maybe it's damage control because of everything that's going on now.
And think about that. You think he might think that she might come back, like pull him on Maury. Remember how Maury used to be like, you look at me now, you bullied me, you know? I'll be like, oh.
Hey, I love those ones because I can't believe how insecure those people are. Like, you got to come back and be like, years later, I had you on my mind. Like, that person never even thought about him. But for years, you had, like, your whole motivation was me.
Listen,
thank you very much.
Maury for that. All we got to do is look at some of our police force.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Wait, before we segue over there. But yes, you're right about that. But yeah, I feel like, do he think she gonna come out like a Me Too moment? You know what I mean? Is he like,
that's what it sounds like? Yeah.
Like, she might come back, let me hurry up and apologize now before she ruined my career, and be like, well, you snatched this off of me and it was your idea. Maybe it was his idea. You should do this and put a tasty right there. You know how we be. We'd be like, that's sweet.
But it almost seemed like to me like you got away scot-free. You should just let that sleeping dog lie,
Right.
you know. But
Right. Now on the Nick said we could see some of our police department. Now Nick is the voice. Nick's views are not the views of the host on Shop Talk with Mel. Go ahead, Nick. Elaborate.
We talking about
elaborate.
Right. We just talking about, the show on Maury where the people were bullied before and now they want, we really got something we got that going on across the country now in the police force, like across the country.
You gotta go a little deeper, honey. What you saying? What you saying to the listening people that don't know what you're saying?
Right. A lot of this stuff going on with these police officers, overstepping their job instead of protecting and serving, they're killing our people. And just for instance, the trial that's going on now. To me, a lot of that is their mindset is coming from maybe they were bullied in school. And I know a lot of people,
they get the badge and they put their cape on, and now they bullied.
Now they're in high influential positions and they were bullied, and now they get to be the bully. That's not how any of that works.
Now let me say this, as far as like brutality, physically abusing people, no. Abusing people, period, no. But I will say this in defense of the person that was bullied and decided I'm going to be successful. So they are in highly influential positions, as you stated, and they're in these high positions. And now you have to answer to the person you bullied. And it doesn't always have to be physical. It could be mental. So you're going in and it's almost like, now you need me, not to use it in a bad way or use your position in a bad way. Come on, Roogle, come on in it. Come on in it. But to say, how does it feel without saying a single word when you have to come to the person that you bullied that did nothing to you?
Right.
And boom, now you got to go and be like, can I have a job?
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, Roogle.
I remember I had a situation where just by association, like, and this person said, well, I remember when y'all, I was like, hold on, when did I ever do anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, if like sometimes you be around people and they be like, they start cracking on people and all that stuff. It's like, I remember y'all, I was like, hold on.
Like, yo,
when did I say anything? And sometimes like that trauma can be so damaging to people that it's just like anybody associated in that area, they blame it. You know what I mean? Sort of, just is it this crazy? Like
guilty by association.
Yeah. And like a few things I had to clear up. I was like, I never said that.
How do you feel about that? Guilty by association.
I hate that, especially if the other person is innocent and didn't do anything. But then nowadays, everybody's like, well, you could have did something. Why did you just stand by and watch? Sometimes that person does not have the power to stop things. Come on now. You have to think about certain situations and things like that. Now, with this trial that's going on, every last one of them need to go down. They are all guilty by association because they had the power to stop Derek and they did not.
Well, they were accomplices. That's
right. That's an accomplice, not guilty by association.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the point is they could have done something.
We ain't on that part yet. We got to do
I know we got to go, but
we got to go through the motions.
It all in together.
Yeah.
But, that guilty by association, that's kind of funny because like that is like a real thin line, because a lot of times people are just there. They don't have the power to stop something, or maybe they're afraid of that person, the bully. The bully.
Ain't no sense in both of us getting beat up.
Thank you. Like they could be
afraid for Friday
and just be like, okay, let me just shut my mouth before they start on me.
All right, go ahead, Roogle. You said that was like y'all, which was like, hold up.
It was like, hold up. I was like, I never said, nothing like that. You know what I mean? I mean, just because I never thought of making fun of people because of circumstances they couldn't change was a good thing. You know what I mean? That was never my thing, you know?
Thank God it wasn't a school shooting.
Right.
Because it would
Yeah,
be like, y'all, I didn't say a single word.
But
Now, go ahead.
But that's how it go down. They'd be like, oh, you know, because it's funny because I talk to some of my friends now. It's like 9 of us. We'll do a Zoom call, and like some of the stuff they're talking about. I mean, not that it's bad stuff or anything, but like sometimes, like some of the stories they have, I'm like, I wasn't even with y'all. You know what I mean? I don't even know what y'all even talking about.
Right.
But the thing is that like, let's say it's 9 of us all going through school and all together, and then it was like 3 of us at one thing and you know, whatever, and they just like, well, y'all hang together, so y'all, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, wow. I was like, it was this interesting to kind of have that retrospective view on how like we were all together, but we had a lot of diverse experience. Well, not diverse experiences, but experiences that didn't include all of us. You know what I mean? Or one person was missing here.
They just made it all inclusive.
Yeah.
You would have been on Maury, Roogle.
I'd have been on there like, show me the tape.
You'd have been on Maury. They'd be like, look at me now. You'd be like, who are you?
I'm like exactly.
That's the whole purpose.
I'd be like, that's so great. I don't know why you got me on this show though, but all right, you know. And
I've had instances where people swore up and down, like cousins and friends, like argue me down, telling me that I've been in a situation that I've not been there. You remember, you was there. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. And I'll be sitting there looking at them like, how you gonna tell me where I was at? I remember. I said, well, your memory, you must have Alzheimer's or something, because I was not there. I don't know what you're talking about. That's why I'm looking at you like crazy.
Listen, it's so interesting too when you group people, because you have groups of people that sit at the lunch table together, groups of people who, you know what I mean, they for recess, and probably don't even be around that person when you go home. And it's
Right.
like a school thing, and then they want to put you all inclusive, like, okay, when y'all did this. That is very interesting, because I got a whole bunch of cousins, and they probably got me in a y'all. You know, they probably got me in a y'all, and it's like, But I will tell you one thing that was really touching, because I said, somebody gonna have me on Maury one day. But because I said, yeah, let me see, they gotta get a call. But I saw a young lady, and I didn't know her. This is recent, about 10 years ago. And she came to me with this like Bath and Body Works little gift. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, why did you do that? And she said, because my girlfriend said that you stood up for her in the 7th grade when she was getting bullied. And listen, no. So I was like, don't remember. Like you said, Roogle, I don't even remember it. And she said in the 7th grade, she asked me my name, she asked me my maiden name, and I told her, I was like, oh, and she asked all the stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's me. And that's what she said. And the girl, and I was like, your girlfriend, I never seen her girlfriend. And then finally, when I looked, I was like, she looks familiar. But that moment had to be a pivotal moment for her. I know, you know, I'm like, I didn't even know her, but thank God it was the other side and not
Right, exactly.
And I was like, yeah.
Could have been the other way around, and old girl come around like,
right, bam, I got some, I got some coals and a black eye, you know what I mean? You just don't know how you affect people. And with that y'all, I don't like that y'all hanging with certain groups. I've never liked the y'all. And if you knew me, I'm pretty similar to now. Even back then, I was cool with everybody, but you seen me riding alone. I'll be in my little Chevette, pew, pew. I'll be like in this group, that group, go. And I was mainly with
the cars back in the day.
Man, I had the little, with Prince said, little red Corvette. I had the little gray Chevette, and I used to play that in my cassette. With a raspberry beret cocked to the side.
Okay.
Wishful thinking. But yeah, we got to start with the we, because that's how them school shootings, you be like, well, what happened? They came in, they targeted these people. You know what I mean? One bullet might be here and you with the crew, and then bam, everybody go. And then they'd be like, hey, you go get in the closet. I like you. You go hide in the closet. Like what?
I don't know if they mad at the world. It'd be like everybody getting laid down with you did something to me or not.
You know, I think I don't know the mindset of a school shooter, but I really believe that bullying, and there are some teachers that I've witnessed that just pretty much let it go on and bullied students as well.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that too.
And it's not okay. It's not okay. And I'm like, this is team too much. Now let me tell you about toothpasting. Now toothpasting, you know about toothpasting? Toothpasting was a thing back in like 15, 16. Yeah, like when I was doing the play, that's when I first. Toothpasting is what the teens are doing again now. And I want to put this out there because I want to let the parents be aware. Toothpasting is where you're probably thinking, now why are we running out of toothpaste? Oh, my baby, brushing their teeth, good. Now they are taking toothpaste, the teens. So we're talking like 6th, 7th grade. Let's go that route. Maybe 5th, even younger. You know, these babies, they're intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Toothpaste, the toothpasting craze is where they take toothpaste, rub it around their areolas. They're doing it in school too. Now it's because remember we was homeschooling, so you at the house, you got the internet and all that. They're bringing it back. And it's the titanium dioxide that's in toothpaste that gives them that fixation of like an opioid effect where they feel high. They put it there and they put it on their genitals.
I never did that. I did, however, we'll put
Well,
toothpaste
you
on
ain't do that
like
because listen, I said 2016 is when it was really jumping off,
when
and
they
that's
started.
the first one. Yes, so you wouldn't have had it, but I'm putting this out here because I want parents to be aware. This is major, especially when we're dealing with, you know, the drugs that's going on. I have a lot of fun, but please hear me. It's a toothpasting. It's called pasting. Toothpasting craze, okay? And they take the toothpaste, they rub it around the areolas, your nipples, okay, and the genital area. And it's supposed to give them a high. Some people, it's almost like they're drunk.
Let me ask my niece.
Wait. Let me get this information out, please. And it causes hallucinations, loss of balance, and like facial distortions. So it's almost like an effect as if somebody is drunk. So if you see your young one acting that way, if there's teachers out there and you see students going to the school nurse or out there asking for toothpaste, and you're like, you want a toothbrush? Because we're older, so we're looking at it as, okay, maybe they just want to, you know, brush their teeth, their breath don't smell, you know, they don't want their breath to smell, they just want some toothpaste. Maybe they don't have, because we're in this COVID state where it's like, you know, people don't have the basics. Watch. And if you have toothpaste that's going and you know you done bought a big giant tube and it's gone, make sure your child is not. Please say no. What is it? Just say no to drugs and alcohol. Nancy Reagan? Was that hers?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right. So now you said you're gonna go check on your niece and make sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
How you feel about that? I mean, your profession in, you know, in early education, Roogle, how do you feel about, like, who thought of that?
Well, that's the first thing. Somebody that sounds like something somebody really smart figured out. It was like passed it down, you know. The other thing is, what the hell is in our toothpaste?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's the question. Like, man, maybe you just only need to just gargle or something, like just wet it with some water and brush or something.
And it is interesting, but you know, it makes you wonder, like, well, remember back in, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, y'all know, I remember I used to sell that Spice of Life, and remember people used to be giving BJs and Baba for apples with Altoids. And that was supposed to be like the thing. You know what I mean? That was like that minty, you know, so Makes you, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out, but I just want y'all to protect the babies, you know, protect my little people. I like the little people.
This is definitely a boob-centric show today.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I had to make it happen. I had to make it happen. All right. Okay. I got two more, and it's all dealing with, well, I hope not, but that was not the intent. That was not the intent. I promise you.
Just saying.
They say, listen, they say if you want to know the content, what is the intent? Or the intent, listen to the content. That's it. But for real, it really isn't about nipples. But let me tell you about this couple. This is a sad story, but I just want y'all know I like to have fun, but I want y'all to put yourselves in these shoes of these parents. They were having a gender reveal, and they had an airplane that, you know, to fly to tell them if it was going to be a boy or a girl. So everybody's down on the ground. So walk with me here. You're down on the ground. It's a beautiful day outside. Grass is green. You like, yay, we're allowed outside. We're going to have this wonderful gender reveal. Me and my guy and all of our guests are here, and the airplane comes and it's going to let us know if it's a girl or a boy. And you see the airplane, and the airplane that fell in the doggone ocean.
Oh, that would be devastating.
Exactly. That's why I said this is like a sad one, but just y'all gone too far with these here gender reveals. And so they
that is devastating.
Yeah, that was in Mexico, Cancun, Mexico, it happened. And I know, I thank God that the mother, you know, the parents to be weren't on the plane. It was somebody that, I guess that's what they did, but they had some type of malfunction. But that was in Cancun, Mexico. But can you imagine you sitting there like, and everybody's guessing, and then boom.
Did the person survive?
No, two people died that was in the plane.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I said it's, you know.
Yeah, y'all going too far with these gender reveals. Just leave it to the balloons and the paint and the blowing up of the cake or whatever.
Remember they had that one blow up we talked about, and it messed up. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they was on the show, on one of those shows soon, because it messed up all the decorations. They did a boom. It was supposed to blow up, but it blew up all the decorations and the house caught fire.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, y'all going too far.
Can we just tell people it's a boy? It's a girl.
Right.
Like, I mean, I understand going all out, but okay. All right, did that one. T.I. and Tiny. More people are coming forward. So you got more people coming forward.
They had to know that this was going to mess up their career when they started doing this dumb mess. Come on now, y'all. Y'all supposed to be smart. Obviously, you weren't that smart. You got caught.
Now let's take it back to what you were saying. Sometimes people use their power to gain what they want, and people are, you know, some people. What are those group? Not even groupies. Yeah, I wouldn't even say groupies. I would say some people are just happy to be a part of. And
now you want to take them down.
Well, yeah, because if you realize, oh, that wasn't right. Oh, I was with so-and-so and I was with them. But then you also have those who, like, allegedly R. Kelly and people. You know, you use your control, and it's like you see these people, even though we knew he was a pedophile. Roogle, like, did we know, Roogle?
Yeah.
We could prove you in that.
When the whole Aaliyah thing happened, I'm like, why is people still liking this guy? You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, what do I know? But
you know a lot, because you're right. Why is it with the whole Aaliyah thing? He got married. He likes little people. And I couldn't understand why people are still introducing their little people to this grown man. Trying to, I mean, would you sell your child? And I told y'all before, the Pied Piper, he told you who he was. That's what he did. He came for the little people. Y'all didn't pay him his money. He came for yours. And he keeps saying, I'm the Pied Piper, y'all. And so when I say that because when you have, some people I feel like want to get caught, because you'll have the him, R. Kelly, with him hollering, he the Pied Piper, and it's up to you to listen. You have allegedly T.I. and Tiny. They're very successful. And why would you do that? And you know you're successful, like boom, you know what I mean? Then you had one of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They got her on, they arrested her on the set, because y'all know I like my ratchet TV, with her doing some type of fraud, like telemarketing or sales type fraud or something. And you're on a platform that you know you're attainable. People see you. We know how to find you. And what is
like with T.I. and Tiny with their shows, and now they doing I guess the family business or somewhere they but like, why put yourself out there if you know you've been doing shady stuff? Come on now, because eventually you will get caught. People are not thinking about that. How about this? I mean, because I don't care what nobody do in their bedroom, but when it comes to a situation like this or a child, yeah, you wrong. Don't drug nobody, because I mean, if you can't get it on your own without having to drug somebody, something wrong with you. Like,
yeah, what is that called? Where it's a saying, something, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
right.
I believe that. And I believe that when you can be a certain place, it's like, okay, let's build you up. And then make sure it makes a difference. Because if we get you on the ground floor, is it really going, if Mike and Joni that you don't, you know what I mean, down the street is doing this, the street is like, whoa. But then you have somebody who is being accused, T.I. and Tiny, and everybody be like, wow, it's a different impact. And then you pay
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, yeah, just all of them big names.
Oh, right. And that's why with the Justin Timberlake, I think that he probably think Janet probably will come back and and be like, wait a minute, Janet gonna come back and she gonna say that this happened. I'm gonna be in the media movement. Interesting. Now let's move on to, we know, let me get my stuff right. Get my stuff together for y'all so we can get this going. The George Floyd trial. Did anything come out during this trial that you didn't see on the video the very first time?
I haven't been able to keep up with the trial because I've been working.
Okay,
so, but I have been like,
so you haven't watched or heard anything of the trial?
I did see on the news the other night at work where they were talking to the girlfriend, the fireman that tried to render aid and they wouldn't let her, or was it she, a fireman or the medical EMT, one of them. But you know, like, there's certain things people are there getting prepared for the worst, thinking that they're gonna let there go. But with some of this evidence and some of these people that are coming forward, I don't think he gonna get away. Now they might give him a slap on the wrist, but I don't think they just totally gonna dismiss the period.
Okay. George Floyd case, Roogle, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I heard
the trial. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, the pieces that I saw from it were I seen the interview with the firefighter and how she was saying, you know, that was interesting because I didn't know, I didn't know that was happening at all or whatever. And just the response that she got, because it's so funny where like you always hear about, oh, the undercover cop stopped this from happening. He just happened to be or plain clothes, or he wasn't in uniform and he sprung to action and saved the day. And you know, that's totally acceptable. And in her career path, you know, is saving lives, putting out fires,
right.
Saving lives.
Right.
And like she saw this from a professional perspective and was like, yeah, y'all gotta, you know, you gotta stop. You know what I mean? This dude needs aid, you know. And even if they felt that she wasn't a firefighter, because she said that's what one of the things they said, well, if you were a firefighter, you would know not to interfere or something like that, right? And so the thing was that though, even if she wasn't, it was a person coming to you with common sense is telling you, you killing this guy. You know what I mean? You need to stop this. The one thing I didn't understand was the judge got mad at her for what I didn't understand. She was asked a question and she was answering it. She kind of tapered off and she started answering again. And the judge was like, no, you have to, when they have asked you the questions, you need to, this answer the question. She's like, well, I was answering the question. And she was like, I wasn't done. He was like, I'll tell you when your answer is done. And I was like, how are you gonna tell her if she that's up to the lawyers to say, I move that you strike this and and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Versus
sound like he influence
like how,
a position.
Yeah, that kind of had me. I was like, why would you tell her that like you will tell her when she's done answering the question?
That's different.
It was weird to me.
Yeah, that's different.
Then I seen this one police officer who was talking about the incident. And he was saying, yeah, it was what he was doing was lethal force, putting his neck on somebody's putting his
I saw that the officer saying that, said the procedure is just
wait. Let him finish his. Go ahead.
Well, that's pretty much it. But he was saying that what he was doing, that was lethal force, off top, So I mean, it's if he got, I don't see how you let them off easy. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, because I guess they're all having all their own separate trials, I guess, right? Because I'm assuming that there's going to be charges put up against all 5 of the officers. Wasn't it 5 on the scene?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is the one I guess
this is the main man, but I don't see how you let this guy off for this. When do you realize that that the officer said, like, there's a point where he stopped resisting. I was like, well, because it's hard to, the thing that's so hard to understand is, when does resisting arrest turn into trying to save my life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you expect a person not to struggle in a situation where they can't breathe or something like that? You know what I mean? Or getting pounded on by billy clubs or something. Like, I don't understand. Like, because even if you lay flat, they still hitting you. In this case, even when he laid flat, handcuffed behind his back, 4 other officers on the scene. This was the best way? The best way?
They were actually supposed to turn him on his side after they got him handcuffed. That's what that officer said. The procedure is you have them laying flat on their face down, until you get him handcuffs. Once they had him handcuffed, they were supposed to move him on his side, not continuously put your knee on his neck. You had him handcuffed. Lay him on his side.
Here's what a lot of people don't know. Have either of you ever been cuffed before? Handcuffed?
Yes.
Now, yes. If he's saying the handcuffs are tight, because the handcuffs continue to get tighter and tighter until you lock it.
Yep.
When you lock them, that's when it'll stay. Otherwise, it'll continue to get tighter and tighter.
And that mess hurts.
Indeed. So you have to look at all of that. I looked at that. Did you see? Well, I don't know if you caught that. Roogle did, because you said you hadn't seen any of the trial. Did you see when they played the video? And I missed this the first time. The stream of urine when he lost bodily fluids that went up under the car from him. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at it. So you knew, and it was intentional.
Yeah, it was.
Then they tried to say the fentanyl. Not that I'm a drug specialist, but they said 11 micrograms. When you administer 200 milligrams, you know what I mean? It's just like you fishing.
Right.
You're fishing. And that little 11 micrograms, I mean, I don't know all about drugs like I use, or anything like that, but 11, how long ago was that in his system? What was it mixed with? You know what I mean? Like, you can't bring that to the forefront and say, this is the reason I killed this man, because he was not acting erratic off of that.
if he was high, if they showed him shooting up heroin, it wouldn't excuse what they did. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they had him with the needle in his arm, it wouldn't excuse what they did. I mean, because there's just watching the video, what is those other officers doing that they couldn't say, all right, he's down, he's handcuffed, let's put him in the trunk.
Right. Get up, let's put him in the car.
Yeah, like what was, I mean, I know it was outrage from the community and people that were there talking about get off of the guy, but it was like the more they said, hey, y'all doing wrong, the more they was like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. We gonna keep on doing it,
And where was the moral compass?
There was a lot of people who actually said, they were like, well, why didn't anybody help? How could you? If he got officers there that's not helping and you go in charge, you already know you're getting shot.
So it would be more people dying senselessly. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be senselessly because they're dying trying to help somebody, but why put somebody else's family through that? I mean, it was all tragic. It just, those who were there to protect and serve that should have stopped it, did not. That's who was supposed to stop it.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad for the people who actually witnessed it. That visual is going to forever be in their minds. I'm glad, thank God for video. And like I said before, if we didn't have COVID, everybody in the world wouldn't have been watching it.
Exactly.
Because, everybody had to stand still and just look. And it's like, bam, right in your, this is blatant. Even though it was out there, we kept saying it over and over. And it's like, now you get to see what we've been saying. And it's sad because this man had to lose his life because of it. Like, give me a break.
Like they weren't paying attention to the other ones, but they have to pay attention to this one. They didn't pay attention
right, this one was right in your face. Yep.
Right. And none of the other ones, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, none of the other ones they really paid attention to. This, well, you stop, but you shouldn't have resisted. Man, I'll hear it cuss. It's not about resisting. It's about what's right, what's wrong, what's fair. And we have not been treated fairly. You have people who have not resisted. And then they want to bring up their background. Well, they used to sell drugs, they sold drugs, or they did this, or they had a gun illegal. Man, they were not resisting. They were doing what they were told and still got shot. What about the child in Cleveland that was outside playing with a toy gun and got shot? I mean,
Tamir Rice?
Yeah, things like that. So, like, stop trying to make excuses for why a police officer killed a Black person. But then you see all these white people that's doing stuff. There's been videos on Facebook of a white man charging police officers and everything else, and they walk away with their life just handcuffed.
And it's so
too tight. Would you like a cheeseburger? Stopping by Burger King.
Yeah, getting them water and all that other stuff. Yeah.
But we don't get that treatment.
Did you see?
We don't get that treatment, but
had okay, right. Wait. The one kid, he murdered a few people, and you could see where the officer is giving him a bottle of water. And now you're saying with this new voting law that we can't give water to people who are in line to vote in Atlanta. Did you see that?
Yeah. I also heard the governor try to defend it and say, well, what he was saying was, this is what he said. He was being interviewed on CNN. And he said, what it is, like when you go and you vote, how like there's an area that you cannot go in Ohio, I think it's 100.
You can't go past, right?
Yeah, I think it's 100. Like if you can't do it if you're like campaigning for somebody, you can't go in that area, right?
Right.
So what he was saying was it was about it's for the 150 feet area that people can't.
Bye. That's not bad.
I'm just telling you what he said. I ain't say it was right. I'm just telling you what he said. You know what I mean?
Nobody ever did that before because I didn't work not the picket line. Yeah, is that what I helped out with the campaign?
So he was also saying that
Thanks, Nick.
He was also saying that what happened was in their law prior to COVID, there was never any drop boxes. And so what that law did was add a drop box to counties that never even had one and all this other stuff. He was also saying that in the bill, it also leads to increasing the amount of machines that would be used for counting votes. But the thing, there was other, that was what he was saying. But the issue is like this: you got Coca-Cola, you got Delta, you got actually the NBA. Was it the NBA who said they weren't going to hold their finals in Atlanta? Or no, not the NBA. It wasn't the NFL.
It was the baseball.
Baseball, yeah. Baseball was going to have their game in Atlanta, and they said they're not doing it anymore. So, there's enough heat on this where he could try to justify his comments or his rationale, but it's a lot of corporations. It's like, yeah, we ain't having no parts of that.
Right.
We're condemning you on this.
Very good, and I like the fact that people stand up.
Yeah, and and they said the revolution wouldn't be televised, right?
How about that?
I'm just saying. I mean, even when this whole thing with Nike, remember I said I was like, oh, and the revolution is brought to you by Nike. When they started to get behind Kaepernick, when most common sense folks realized that, hey, he has a major point here, But I mean, they once those businesses start talking, that's more powerful to them than the people. So.
Obviously, yeah, because that's where their money is coming from. They're backing for their
and that was another thing. They said like some of these corporations have given money to people who have voted for this stuff, and they're like, hey, we can't be tied to this terrible bill, you guys. Even though how they were voting before was extreme, horrendous, Jim Crow era, law. Then they just doubled down on it, but that corporation money.
Right. And it's crazy because you won't listen to the people, but you'll listen to a corporation. But the people are the ones that's making the corporation rich. Yeah. We're the ones buying the products. We're the ones spending our hard-earned money on these products. So you might as well just skip the middleman and listen to the people in the first place.
Well, it's the difference between the people and the corporation is the corporation have lobbyists. You know what I mean? They have monies tied to who they support, and they keep those. The first thing is that, sometimes how we have our offices structured, you got people that are in there especially at the federal level for forever. There's no term limits and things like that for a lot of things. So.
Hey, if you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 515-602-9667, 515-602-9667.
We got to remind you to look at the phone this time.
Right. I'm in these streets right now, so I'm gonna be like, let me keep looking up at the screen. Yes, I got to look at the phone. Right. Go ahead.
I'll be surprised to see how long the bill stays in effect, and they might just be like, the more the businesses kind of jump in there and say, hey, this is wrong, because.
Then they'll move it on out. But
yeah, because I'm surprised Delta said anything. Delta shocked me the most.
I missed it. Tell me, Delta was like, I'm done.
Well, I mean, they came out about it. They're not for some reason I felt like they would be, if we were talking about corporations coming out and saying something, I didn't think that they would step up and say anything, but they did.
Interesting. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. Now, when you said Nike with Kaepernick, he still don't have no job.
Well, he got a settlement. So, I mean, it still needs to work, though. He still needs the opportunity.
See, that's kind of like that. We talked about him in his settlement, but him not having a job is more so like it's almost like that. You want to come out and say I'm wrong and try to humiliate somebody publicly, but you want to apologize privately. And it's like, what's really going on? Now you
Come
have,
on, y'all stop playing and just go ahead and y'all get that man a shot. Get him back on the field.
now there's
That's
some there's some
right.
Asians out there, allegedly. I got to say that to protect the innocent. I would be the innocent. They have Asians out there that feels like they don't have support. They think the Black Lives Matter movement needs to support them as well on the Asian abuse. Nick, the voice of the street, go ahead.
I'm devastated because I mean, you do have some very nice Asians, but the way y'all talk to us, the way y'all treat us, the way you talk about us in your nail shops. Come on, really? Do you think you're supposed to get all that support? I mean, not for everybody, because you do have some, but still, they really do treat Black people like dogs sometimes. Because you could be in a nail shop and how they talk to you and treat you, and then versus how they talk to and treat a white person. I've witnessed it, and I'll be sitting there going,
Nick,
like,
was that a racist comment when you said in a nail shop?
no, I wasn't trying to be racist, but
I knew you were, but it's like everything is like a racist comment, so I had to throw it out there.
I'm sorry, y'all, if you think it's racist, but I mean, you have to look at it. If you go into some of these nail shops that are owned by Asians,
don't spend your money.
Right.
I do not spend my money where I'm not respected.
Exactly.
And that's how you fix it. Now,
Roogle, I want to see how they treat their Black people versus
Roogle,
the white. You be sitting going,
I need to hear Ruggle's thoughts on this.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, and I mean, I wouldn't turn this into that. What's happening right now, I think it's not right. I think what's happening to them is crazy and ridiculous and needs to stop. You know, and I just think, like, because when you're dealing with the general public over and over again, sometimes you run into the worst people, and it just makes you feel like if you don't have the resiliency to come back from those things, sometimes things can be, you know, people can feel like people are being harsh with other people, but you haven't experienced that, you know, and then it's like, I just what's happening to them is absolutely terrible, needs to stop. But I would definitely, I definitely would tell you that I would not tie economics and nail shops and all that stuff into this conversation. You know, I don't think it's warranted. Because I mean,
no, it's not about the economics. It's about how they.
Wait, whoa! We gotta let them.
But I'm just saying, like this, as a Black man, when I interact with some Black people, I'm like, I thought Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? That's like, I thought my Black feelings matter. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want what I got, you know, I thought there should be a level of like congeniality that would, you know, like from that person just because, right? And it's not like that. You just get people that have bad experiences, and people who outwardly, you know, don't communicate well. But in this situation, I would not tie behaviors of some folk to what's happening to this overall thing. I mean, that's almost like how they want to pin it on, like we just talked about George Floyd, you know what I mean? People want to look at him as being like, oh, we got to figure out a way to make it seem like he was bad. Like every Black person that got wrong, we got to find a way to show that they did something bad in the past or something like that. You know,
I did say not all.
Okay.
Well, I'm just, okay,
wait.
Saying,
let's go to the original question. Look, I'm like the judge on the stand. The original question was, there are some Asians that feel as though that they are not getting the support from the Black Lives Matter. So what's your thoughts on that? Roogle, I want to know what your thoughts are on the particular question. I got yours where you said, you know, that, you know, sometimes you know, they out and they disrespect, blah, 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 but not all. And you did say not all. Go ahead, Roogle.
But I just kind of, I mean,
what's your thoughts on that?
Black Lives Matter. Okay, like they have a lot of steam right now. They're doing some good things, you know.
Or from the Black people. How about that? The Black community. They're not getting support from the Black community.
They got my support. Shit, I can't talk for every other individual, but you know, I think the thing is that like all these things are just like there's just these movements happening with like no, like before you had like Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Coalition. Remember he was doing that and stuff like that. You got the NAACP, people of color, right? All inclusive, right? You know, I just think like you have these things that are happening with like I don't know, like there is an Asian group. What is it? I can't think of the name of it. AAIP. I don't know, but the thing is that like who's making these connections, who's having these conversations, and then how do people see their mission versus the overall piece of discrimination? Because a lot of what we've seen in our history is that from our struggles and our perseverance, a lot of people have benefited from that who are not African Americans, you know what I mean? So you know, but I would just, you know, I would just say that maybe those conversations need to be had, you know, and because when you've seen some of these Black Lives Matter protests, it's white people in there, it's other people of all races involved, you know what I mean? So, you know, I just think it's just like, I think the criticism needs to stop, and there needs to be more recognition of what happened. Because I mean, even like, I mean, I'm gonna go throw this back, but like like last week I told you I watched a documentary and they were talking about, it's called Crip Camp, and they were talking about how the Black Panthers helped give their camp members breakfast. You know what I mean? And it was like these folks, some of them were Black, that were disabled and things of that nature, but you know, but it was like you had people helping people you know, based on circumstance, and you know,
and that's what you want, and that's very nice. That's a great broad answer. And yes, you want justice for all, for everyone. I'll tell you my response to that, to her was, and so somebody actually asked me, you know, just having it. And I'm looking like, that's interesting. And I just feel like my response is, I'm fighting my own fight right now. Now, once this get handled, then I could come your way. It's almost like sweep around your own back door before you try to sweep around mine. Handle your business first, in-house. Let's get this. This is what we're trying to do to help you. How are we going to help you? And we're trying to help ourselves. And like you said, Nick, our men are being killed. Our females, our Black females, our Black men are being killed. Where you have those that say all lives matter, all lives matter. Dr. Heavenly off of Married to Medicine, like y'all know I like my ratchet TV, but that one is a good one. Her analogy, she's a dentist. The analogy she used was amazing, and it was easy. We know that we start off with 32 teeth. If you have one bad tooth, this tooth needs attention. You're not going to treat all the other 31 because ain't nothing wrong with them. Right. So yes, all of them are important. All your teeth, you smile for a smile, all your teeth are important, but that one needs the care. So let's correct this and let's fix this tooth. Okay. So
I don't agree with that analogy.
Huh?
I don't agree with that analogy.
Well, I do.
Especially from a dentist perspective, because you have preventative care.
Okay, but
that's why we talked about toothpaste earlier today. Yeah, that's why you got toothbrushes. But wait,
let me finish.
That's why you got dental checks.
Let me finish. I'm about to mute you.
I'll mute.
The thing is, mute yourself. The thing is, this tooth needs care. So if this tooth needs care, let's focus on this. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need to fix this tooth. Boom. All of them are important, but this is where the issue is at. So let's focus on the issues. and let's get justice. Let me get my justice first, because I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not gonna spread. This is just me. I'm not spreading myself thin. Just like I told you before, somebody got to tell the story. I don't think anyone should harm anybody. Let's be clear. I don't think anyone should harm anyone. But you got your problems. You have your problems. I have mine. Once my problems are resolved, then I can help you. Here's another one, since you don't like the tooth analogy. You got bills to pay. You got your paycheck. Somebody talk about you short. Guess what? I'm going to pay my bills first before I go paying yours. Because I need to make sure I got lights too. You know what I mean? Make sure, just in case, you got to come over to my house and stay. Ain't no sense in both of us being done. Like, come on. Go ahead, Roogle. What you got to say? Now you unmuted yourself. What now?
I'm unmuted. I don't agree with what she said. I think that's dumb. And I'll tell you why.
Please.
Because it's like this. If I got one crooked tooth in my mouth, they don't put a brace on one tooth. They put it on a whole rack of teeth.
See, you went
right.
You went with a crooked tooth. I'm talking about an infected tooth.
I'm just saying. Either way, there. If you're looking at it like this, is that like Martin Luther King said it himself? What did he say? Injustice to one of us is injustice to all of us.
Absolutely.
Right. So how can you marginalize, like, if discrimination is wrong wherever it's happening? Like,
it's all are important. But if there's an issue here, let's correct this issue.
Yeah. And these are systemic.
If we still fighting our fight, we got to get ourselves together to be able to help anyone else.
This was wrong. Here you go. Here you go. Let me talk your language, sir.
Talk my language.
The school district. The school district.
Yeah.
All the other school districts is fine.
That's not true.
Well, listen, though. They ain't got the problems that we have in our school district. So we're going to fight for our school district, because here's where the issue is at. The ones that don't have, you're like, okay, you're fine. We want to make sure that you don't get sick, or you don't have these issues. So we're going to correct this and watch for this bill, because they're going to try to get you. That's my point.
Okay. My response to that would be, and this is something I mentioned to other board members, is that we are in the fight, not just for Youngstown, even though Youngstown is why we're in the fight.
That's
we are in the fight, but we are in the fight for public education in Ohio. When I go down there and I testify in Columbus, I'm showing them what's going on in Youngstown and projecting to them.
Because that's the one that was affected.
Well, not just Youngstown, East Cleveland and Lorraine, but the point. But with that being said, though, we're trying to change legislation that impacts all districts, all minorities in Ohio, all underserved people in Ohio, all rural communities in Ohio. So I don't buy into, like, you can't help yours and help others. Sometimes it's just like this. I mean, we just talked about Coca-Cola, Delta, Facebook, UPS, all these people coming out against the law in Georgia, and some of those folks some of those companies aren't even in Georgia. You know what I mean? But they're coming out.
I get it, but guess what? Most of those companies probably don't have the problems. See, that's the thing. If I don't have a problem and everything is copacetic on my end, yes, I can reach out and help. That's what I'm saying. So I'm fighting my fight. If somebody want to come fight me, and then you got to fight over here 2 doors down, well, I got to fight for myself first, and then I come and help you. But if I don't have a fight, I could come and help you.
I just don't agree. I just don't agree with that.
Y'all all gonna get.
I'm just saying. So you ain't never.
And both y'all falling, and nobody.
But like it seems like for example, I'm like, hey, I ain't got things going well. But if I see somebody in need of $1, do I give it to them? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just, I don't.
But listen to what you said. Listen to what you said. I didn't say things are going well, but if you don't.
I said, I'm not doing well. That's what I said.
But here's the thing. Doing well. If you're not doing at all, how can you give $1? See, that's where I'm going.
But you can give in other ways, though. look, I don't want to, I understand what you're saying.
No,
I just want
that's
to,
your view.
I just want to
That's
be
your view. I
saying
like
that
it.
it's horrible. I think that like if there's a way to bring more unity to these issues and be able to solve these issues that are systemic issues, the systemic battle is a long journey. It's a long journey.
It is. And my
just
point,
the thing with the school, like when you brought the schools, like been fighting that for 5 years.
You've been fighting it for 5 years because
5 years.
You are affected. See what I'm saying?
But I'm saying
my
though,
point, affected.
I'm saying like it's not. I mean, okay, how am I affected? I got my education and things like that. But I'm saying,
that's our community.
That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't like I was like, oh, this is a lost cause. Let me walk away from it because I got what I need. No.
But I ain't going to New York. But I'm not going to New York when I'm dealing with something in Ohio. That's what I'm saying. And here's my thing. Honestly, I don't. And we can agree to disagree. That's what ShopTalk is all about. But here's my thing. I thought it was odd that they didn't say, hey, let me join you guys. Y'all come to help us. See, that's where I was at. Go ahead, Nick.
That's basically my point. They mad because Black Lives Matter not helping them, but have they decided to join us? Have they let us help you with your fight beforehand? So that way,
like let us all come together and you don't have to deal with that.
Were they coming
organization beforehand? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I see your hands raised.
This isn't based off of an actual report, though. What you're saying is based off of somebody asking you a question.
No. Actually, it's out there. It's out there. And then we had, let's dialogue. So it was a conversation. It was a conversation. So that's where that came from. But there's no statistics out there. There's no like AAIP, like you said, versus the Black Lives Matter, because people need to understand too. Let me say this. Black Lives Matter is an organization. I'm using Black Lives Matter just as Roogle used Black Lives Matter as exactly what it is. Black Lives Matter. Okay, so we can be clear on that. And it's like, let's all come together and we can, with that, didn't you say it, Nick, last week, with Soul Food, a Mighty Fist or something other was
Oh yeah, we were talking about that fist. Like I can't remember the exact analogy. I gotta watch it again, but basically she was saying when everybody comes together and make a fist, that's that one fist.
All your fingers are important. You make it one fist all together is a mighty blow or something. I can't remember.
Right. Last time. I can't remember exactly how she said it, but basically, yeah, yes, everybody does have to come together. But the thing is, everything has to be in agreement. You can't come together with somebody just because you need them. But then
I'm having trouble and now I'm here. You got that cousin.
When it's their turn that needs help, you turn your back.
Well, everybody got that one cousin. You don't hear from them until they need you. Didn't they call on the phone? You be like, okay.
Exactly.
Where were you at when I needed it?
So this is
Go ahead,
Roogle. The thing. The New York Times, they have an article. Time Magazine has an article called "How a Shared Goal to Dismantle White Supremacy is Fueling Black Asian Solidarity," and they go into this article about how prior to this shooting that happened to Atlanta, there had been. I'm going to find it directly. Running to protest Black and Asian solidarity rallies were organized weeks before the Atlanta area spa shooting. Claimed the life of 8 people, including 6 Asian women, prompted a reckoning over the rise in the past year of anti-Asian violence and a long history of anti-Asian racism. But it quickly became one of the several shows of Black and Asian solidarity following the Atlanta area shooting as people band together over a common goal: dismantling white supremacy. Shortly after the attack, the official Black Lives Matter account issued a statement denouncing attacks against Asian Americans. When we call for the eradication of white supremacy, we are saying that Asian Americans and every other marginalized racial group deserves to be freed from the violence, intimidation, and fear.
Okay,
Read the
so we
statement.
already doing it.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, so, you know, I just think like we just need to research it just a little bit more before we say what ain't happening. But you know, obviously they made a
I
statement.
just asked your personal thoughts on it. I didn't say, yeah, that
all right.
Ask your personal thoughts on it. So they need to research and know exactly before they say we're not helping. That guess what? There's groups out there that are helping. Now here's my thing, and that was my personal thought and view on that. What happened in Atlanta was horrific. That was terrible. That is what brought it to the forefront of my cortex, because I didn't know that they were dealing with that much. What I saw and what was on videos that I saw was how we were being mistreated with Nick. So we're on the same boat there. You saw the videos were thrown out and all that other stuff in Chicago. That's what I was aware of. So I wasn't aware of the abuse of Asians until that shooting. Then I seen it was another one. I want to say it was in New York. There was a somebody like beat up and kicked an Asian man, and he has sutures, aka stitches, all across his face and across his nose.
I thought it was an Asian woman. That guy.
A woman as well, but it was but it was a man because he ended up doing an interview. Go ahead. What'd you say, Roogle?
I was gonna say it's been quite a few elderly people from across the nation that has happened to, and it's deplorable and terrible.
It really is. And here's my thought. Like if I never in my mind thought about fighting an Asian person because I watch Karate Kid.
Oh Lord.
Like, not for real. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, I ain't trying to get like beat up, karate kick, you know what I mean? I'm thinking all of them, that's how they fight. We do use our fists, they doing some extra stuff. Why would you even put this is prior to this, you know, the situation is, you know, it's going on now. Why would you even want to do that? They probably like, stop. Interesting. It's like, why? I wouldn't. That's just my thoughts. So I'm sitting there like, I ain't fooling with none of them. They all black belts. They know karate. I'm done. Look, I wouldn't even argue, but I'm not the person that just go and pick fights with people either. The one, the one that said with the guy that had the sutures, they were saying that he was mentally gone. He had some mental health issues, mentally disturbed. Then the other guy that beat up the elderly woman, I guess he was in jail for like a long time, and then he finally got out. Did you read that one too?
Yeah.
And it's like, boom. So anybody pretty much could have gotten it, but it's not okay.
But isn't that what he was in jail for in the first place? Like assault and everything else?
Yes. And they were saying that they're trying to contribute the Asian abuse to 45. Saying because he called it the Kung flu and said the China virus. So they're saying that this is occurring because of that.
He was just who is they? Jackass in the first place. Like, really. He sparked a lot of this stuff that's going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been going on for a long time anyway, but they really bring they bringing it to the forefront now, or just like boom out in your face now, because he really fueled all of that in your face mess, and he allowed all of this stuff, a lot of this stuff to go on. It's just, he was just just one of them ones that he just really he wanted to be historical. He wants to go down to history. He going down to history, all right.
Yeah. To my understanding, they're trying to. Who is there? Who are they again? I was watching The View and listening to them. They were talking about how, President Biden is saying that he wants doctors and preachers, people in leadership to pretty much promote the vaccine. And I'm paraphrasing. And I was watching The View, and on The View, it had where they felt that the people that aren't getting the vaccine are Trumpettes, the Trumpsters, because they don't want to get it. And they felt that if him and Melania would have got the vaccine publicly, maybe more people would have trusted it and got the vaccine. So
okay, that's what I thought you.
Right now, we're looking at 29% of the population had the first vaccine and 15% had both. I thought it was a lot of people getting it.
And listen here, The View, all of y'all on The View, don't be lumping us up in there with Trump. I have not gotten the vaccine. I'm not going to get the vaccine for right now. So no, I'm not a Trumpette, a Trumpster, a Trumpy, a Trump pansy. I'm not Orange Fooley's fan, none of that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm trying to wait to see what the long-term effects are going to be before I take my chance, because along with you, I am immunocompromised. So I need to find out all the ins and outs of the whole entire effect, what it's going to do. Liz, I'm not about to be nobody's doggone lab rat right now. I applaud those who have done it so far, but that's not me. Don't come at me with that mess. You're not being fair. You're harming people, or you're selfish. No, I'm not selfish. Or yeah, maybe I am selfish. I'm selfish because I'm trying to look out for me, make sure I'm okay. Because it may have worked for you, but I might go get it and lose my life. So I want to see what these long-term effects are going to be and weigh my options. And like with all my other little problems, see how this shot is going to work, or see if they have to tweak it before I take it. So y'all, anybody that feel like I'm selfish, you know what you could do. Miss me with it. I'm trying to protect myself. I applaud everyone else that has done it, but I'm trying to protect myself before I go and get that shot. Because y'all be saying I'm selfish. You should go get the shot. I go get the shot, and then y'all be somewhere talking about, oh, she was a trip. She was it. She was. Oh, she was selfish. I'm gonna miss it with all that.
I tried not to love Nick going off. Go ahead, Roogle.
Yeah, because they need to quit. That ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Anybody who decides not, that don't have nothing, that's their personal choice. I never said that I was not going to ever take the vaccine. I just said I'm not taking it right now.
Hey, Roogle, it sounds like she's talking to somebody directly, don't it?
No,
she's going off. Yeah. Who the hell said that? Don't be saying nothing.
Right, Roogle. I was talking about on The View. So
Yeah.
that's to The View. That's to The View. That's to Whoopi and them.
Whoopi, go listen here, Carol. Go on with that. Yeah, I called the our government. Go on with that. You and all the rest of them. Y'all better go ahead with that.
Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I see what Nick is saying. You know, don't lump all people who are not taking the vaccine into that they supported Trump thing or whatever. Because you know, I think, for example, they were black. And I even thought about it like this too. Is like, I don't really know about this, but the more I thought about how they rolled it out, you know, I got more confidence in it. Yeah, they would have been like, oh, we just want to give it out to the people first. Yeah, but when they started giving it to like the essential people, you know, I was like,
well, those are important people. Those are people we need. Those are go-to people.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, like you know, ultimately, if it was a bad batch and you know they got it, it's gonna be bad for us, you know. So, and this kind of taken into effect, like when they created the measles vaccination that was done in 4 years, and that was considered
that was the fastest one. That was 4 years, but this one is one. I'm nervous.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the measles. I mean, how long? Let me see. How long has the measles been around?
Look now, you get to MMR, the measles, mumps, and rubella. Go, I get it now. I feel, Nick, it's too soon and I need to know, but you know what I will say? And I'll ask you guys, and I'm not going to say anything, I'll just ask you. Do you think that it is lack of trust in the government because of 45? And that's why people are like, because remember, we're lied to so much.
No, I'm not gonna say lack of trust. It's just, well, yeah, not because of the government. Lack of trust because this was rolled out entirely too quickly. I got
Okay.
to see what's going on first. Mm.
Okay.
I just,
So go ahead, Roogle.
I understand what she's saying about that, and the thing is, I joked to somebody in a way. I was like, well, we all know if we made the wrong decision once we see a commercial talking about, did you take the Moderna vaccination? And you can join our class action lawsuit. You know what I mean? Like we'll all know then, you know what I mean? But it, it's just, I took in consideration that, okay, for example, the measles vaccination was finished or whatever in like 1963. So if it took 4 years, that's 1959. And you look at science from then to now, yeah, it should have been faster. It should have been, faster. I think that, the thing with our FDA is that they have a long term for trials for medication here.
I appreciate
I think it could take like 11 years for something to make it through a trial. But that also messes us up with generics and everything like that though too, though. And makes medication more expensive. But the other piece to this, the thing that really got me upset about the world is that if we could come together and everyone's like throwing these resources to fix this problem, why are we dealing with other sicknesses? Why are we dealing with global poverty and pollution and lack of water for people and housing for people? Like, if mankind could come together for this one shot because of this sickness that impacted mainly it was the big issue was the economy because nobody could work and all that other stuff or whatever. Like, why are we making these big grandiose gestures just for humanity? So that's what I'm upset about.
That is good, Roogle. That is so good. You get cheers for that comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
And that is a good question. Why?
So my thing is like, we should be cancer next. Let's wipe it out. You know what I mean?
Let's do it. Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
Well, as the big screen opens, the small screen actually gets bigger. And when I say that, I mean to say that HBO has released its Godzilla versus Kong movie. The big movie of it's supposed to be released last May or whatever, but they decided to release it on their streaming network, HBO Max, as well as put it in the theaters. So it's leading the box office now with a whopping $6.7 million in the box office.
Godzilla and King Kong, they not the same people?
No.
King Kong is like,
the big ape,
a gorilla.
The gorilla, yeah.
And Godzilla is a lizard.
Yeah, the prehistoric lizard.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, okay, yeah, that is a lizard. I was wondering about that. Okay.
I used to watch them movies, Godzilla versus Mothra, all them when I was little.
I don't watch movies. I don't watch those anyway, so y'all already know. But go ahead, Roogle, finish your segment.
Well, so anyway, I did get a chance to watch it. As far as these movies go, I guess, if you're really into that big monster thing, it was fine. But I was telling some people that in this genre of movie, when you talk about kaiju, because that's what they call the big old lizards and monsters like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the best movie that we've had to date has been the first Pacific Rim. I really enjoyed that one. This Godzilla was okay. I mean, it was all right. There were some questions I had about it that kind of just my son told me, I think you're thinking about it too hard. I was like, but that don't make sense to me. Like, why would you do that, right? So that's what he had to talk me down. It's like, that you might be putting a little bit too much energy into that thought. but anyway, I mean, it's a good popcorn movie. You go in there, you watch the big monsters fight each other and everything like that. I don't want to too much spoil it, but it's what it is. And it's so funny because they always have a human element that they tie into these movies. And I'm like, you ain't even gotta have that.
Who's the love interest? No love interest?
No, is there a there's kind of like a little bit of sparks that fly between the two leading people, but it doesn't really equate to anything that like that their whole story. Like I thought the scientist, the lead scientist, I can't think of her name, the woman that played her, but she had to be the dumbest scientist in the world. Like it was just so dumb. Like it was so like some of the stuff. Like I was like, if she's there just to study King Kong, why is it that she like this little girl from the island and she's like sign language and with him and all this other stuff, and she's like, well, I never knew he was saying that. Now you're talking to the girl because the girl's deaf or doesn't speak or whatever, she uses sign language, and you didn't realize that this big 100-200 foot ape is doing these hand signals that's the same as what this girl is doing when you actually do this sign language yourself. I was like, she's the dumbest doctor ever. I was like, she get a PhD in what, Plato or something. I'm like, what the hell? This is dumb. But but then he said, I think you're thinking about it too hard. With that all said, the things I've been watching lately have been Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It is in its 3rd episode on Disney Plus, and it is really good. It is like it really has the feeling of Captain America, Winter Soldier. If you like that movie, you'll enjoy this. And it really dove into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as more than just the heroes that we know them, but the people that they are going through these particular issues. Good. I couldn't ask for anything more with that. It's a pretty good show. Also on Prime, I've been watching Invincible. Invincible is a comic book brought to animation by the creator Robert Kirkland, and it is pretty good as well. It sort of has some themes that would be most associated with The Boys, if you're familiar with that Amazon property. But it does have a different twist where it's like, okay, this crime happens. How are we going to solve? And there's a solving of like why this happened, but everyone's fearful. So it's in its 3rd episode already, so or 4th episode. So I'll just break it down like this. It would be like if Superman committed a horrendous crime and you were trying to actually find proof that he did it without him discovering that you knew he did it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a whole lot of people out there in the street. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can fake the funk and pretend like we don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's really good writing though, because this lead character in there is just like a psychopath. I mean, the way he lies. I mean, I know it's acting, but the way he lies, I'm like, man, there's people that really lie like that. Like, I mean, it's like that, this confident, like, I am lying to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Number one, he was a professional lie. He lied so good he believed his own lies.
Yeah.
Now that's an imagination.
And it's so funny, like it's that this narcissistic personality, it's just really, wow. But yeah, that's what's going on. Actually, you know what? I got some birthday news today. Guess whose birthday it is?
Whose?
Eddie Murphy. He turned 60 years old today.
Oh, look, that's all right. Now, Eddie Murphy, he has a fiance, but she wants to get married. I want to say she's 36 or something. And he gave her the ring, but they don't have a wedding date set.
Oh.
Would you, and he has 10 children, but like, would you even care to get married, Nick? I'm asking you. Okay, Nick said no.
No, not at all. I mean, she getting all the benefits right now, so why rock the boat? Just leave the boat.
Well, she getting the benefits now, but if he croak, She gonna be out.
And he does have a lot of money, so he can take care of all them 10 kids. Go ahead. Who else? Who other birthday?
Yeah. Alec Baldwin turned 63 today. I got a really good one if my phone has stopped messing up. One of my favorite actors, David Hyde Pierce, turned 62. He was Niles on Frasier.
Who on Frasier? You watch
Niles?
Frasier?
Yes.
How did I not
Niles,
know that you wouldn't have watched Frasier?
He was. Would you saw the Black Frasier? Look at that.
It was funny. It really was.
Oh man.
And guess who turned 80 years old today?
Who?
Victor Newman, Eric Braeden.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. That's Victor Newman. He ain't gonna never die. It's gonna, if the atomic bomb drop, it's gonna be cockroaches, Young and the Restless. It's gonna be the only survivors. Yeah, he's 80 years old today, man. Victor Newman. I haven't watched the show.
I missed that because my kind of sounded robotic.
Thank you for using blog.
What was that, Nick?
I said I missed whose birthday it was because all of a sudden everything went and stood still for a minute. It sounded robotic.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Victor Newman's birthday, Eddie Murphy's birthday. What was the other person? I gotta go back. Alec Baldwin and David Hyde Pierce. He played Niles on yeah, he did a great job. It's an episode on there they did about Valentine's Day. And in this one skit, this one scene, he doesn't speak anything. He's trying to get ready for this date and all this calamity is happening. Surprisingly, very good physical actor.
Okay, Valentine's Day on Frasier. I'll look into it. I'll Google it.
Great episode.
And watch it. Look and watch it. All right, lovely people. Today's footnote. If you can't convince them, confuse them. I figured that one with your lying people.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you're lying people. Don't you be confused like, no, look, let me say on task. Some people, they be lying so much and then you be looking bewildered like, wait a minute, now I know, now you just gonna lie like that?
Right.
And then you question yourself, then you be like, well, wait a minute, did they really say it? And you start believing the lie that you know is a lie?
Nah, I don't believe that. Because I especially if I know you lie, I'll be sitting there like, okay, you like really trying to convince somebody that know you.
Ooh, yeah. Listen, it's some. I had an encounter with a young lady. She lied so much, and I knew I mean, I was there watching. I knew she was lying, and I couldn't believe she was lying. But she was so convincing that I said, "Well, maybe did you really say that? Did she really lie?" Like, hey, she had me confused. So that's what today's footnote is. If you can't convince them, confuse them. And that's what it's about. Even the George Floyd case, we already know. So now you're trying to throw some extra stuff in and confuse us. I will stay focused. What's the distraction? And that's what you always need to know. When somebody try to come in and you focus, what's the distraction? What's really going on? Yeah. Why this distraction? Why this distraction?
Who sent you?
Right. Who sent you? All right, lovely people. That is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people.
ShopTalk.
Y'all did it. Hey, you can catch all the information if you want to donate to the channel. The information is below. Catch me and like me on all socials. YouTube. We doing it up, trying to make things happen.